I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and today on Genesis Does, we are looking at Tel Tel Stadium from Sunsoft, a Japanese Mega Drive exclusive. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot to tell about this game for a variety of reasons. First of all, and perhaps most importantly, this was designed for use with the Sega MegaNet modem or the Sega Network system, so you were meant to play it head to head over a dial up connection. And obviously, that is impossible in 2021. Not just because I don't have a Sega MegaNet modem, but because that service is no longer supported. I suppose you could hack your way around it, as people have done with the Dreamcast using Raspberry Pi and custom software and hardware, but that's beyond the scope of my abilities, and I don't think I'd find anybody to play it against even if I did. That's not the least of our problems, though. This is also a management game. You don't get to actually pitch, you don't get to actually swing the bat, you don't get to actually field the ball. You just get to make choices. Doesn't matter whether the choices are in Japanese or English. That's all you can do is move up and down and hit B to select a choice. Worse, yes, it gets worse. Worse, the game can actually refuse to obey the commands that you give the players based on the situation the game is in. So you can make choices and they can be nullified by the game itself. So what even is the point? Well, I have to imagine they did it this way because dial-up connections were notoriously slow in the 1990s, so they weren't going to try to let you pitch and hit in real time because the lag would be horrendous. Therefore, they only gave you the ability to coach your team because then they could take actions on their own once you made the selection, and if there was lag for any reason and the command didn't go through, then they would just go ahead and do what they thought was best based on the rules of baseball. It makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. And for what it's worth, it is a visually impressive and good sounding game. There's great background music. It's enjoyable to listen to. The pitching and the hitting are animated well. I like the perspective they give you both from the mound and from the batter's box. Technically, everything here is fine, which just makes it all the more of a shame that you don't actually have real control over it. You only have God mode control, like, the Lord saith unto you, bunt, and I saith, no, Lord, I choose to swing. That's really all there is to Telltale Baseball. You can try, but you will only get so far, and eventually, despite the pleasing graphics and background music, you will lose interest, and not just because it's in Japanese, but because you just can't do much with it. It's a shame, really. I think this has potential, but the lack of a dial-up modem and the lack of being able to directly control anything is ultimately this game's downfall. So I don't recommend you keep a ROM of Telltale Baseball. If you already have one, you can delete it. If you really must, you can try to play it for a little bit and see what you think of it. But at the end of the day, there's not much here. Only people such as Norm the Gaming Historian would be able to keep their interest in a title such as this for long because of the oddity of it being a Sega MegaNet modem game. They would appreciate the historical value, but it's just not fun to play.